All right, pass that gravy boat, would you?
Yeah.
Yeah, the heavy one.
Mm.
Careful with it. I'll fill it right to the brim.
She always does.
She takes it as a personal insult if the ladle isn't completely submerged. There we go.
Oh, thanks.
Man. It is good to just sit down. I was looking at the driveway when I pulled in. Pop's truck is still running. But I heard that rattle in the manifold again. Did you hear that when you walked up?
I did hear it. It's almost got a rhythm to it now.
It does.
Like a distinct clink his clunk.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have no idea how he keeps that thing on the road. It sounds like it's about to cough up a lung.
It absolutely does. But you know him. He just turns up the radio and pretends it's not there.
Classic.
And you know what? That truck.
It reminds me exactly of the market right now. Seriously. Yeah. Here we are, January 2026. Everything looks like it's moving forward, right? It's shiny on the outside. The wheels are turning. Everyone is going to work.
Mm-hmm.
But you lift the hood. Oh, man. There's a whole lot of noise that people are just turning the radio up to ignore. Here, eat up, kid. Take a potato.
You look like you've been surviving on protein shakes and anxiety.
Mostly anxiety, to be honest. And probably too much coffee. It's been a rough couple of weeks.
I can see it in your face. That whole new year, new me optimism that wore off around, January 15th?
Tried January 2nd. I'm not kidding. Between the headlines, my own portfolio, and just trying to figure out where all the money is actually going.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm watching a movie where the plot changes every 10 minutes, and I'm the only one in the theater who didn't get the script.
I bet. But listen, since we're all here and Ma's busy wrestling with that roast in the kitchen, I need to download something to you.
Okay.
I've been staring at the terminal all week, just watching the flows, looking at the credit reports coming across my desk. The world is moving fast. I mean, faster than I think you or even your smart friends from college really realize.
Faster how?
We need to have a real talk.
Yeah.
Not the polite how's work kind of talk. I want to answer the question that I think you're too scared to even ask yourself.
Yeah.
Are you actually safe?
Safe? That's a heavy word for Sunday dinner. I mean, I have the house, I have the job. I'm stressed, sure. But who isn't in 2026? We're all just grinding, right?
See, that's the thing. Everyone is grinding. Everyone is stressed. But it's because the ground rules have completely changed and nobody sent out the memo. You're trying to play by the 2019 rule book in a 2026 economy.
So what are the new rules?
We are going to do a deep dive right here at the table. We're going to look under the hood, because if you're just reading the headlines on your phone, you are missing the actual story.
Right, I'm listening. But do me a favor. Don't give me a sales pitch. I know rates are over 6%. I'm not looking to refinance just so you can hit a quota. I don't need a boat, and I definitely don't need more debt.
This isn't a sales pitch. This is a survival guide.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at you as a client right now. I'm looking at you as family.
Okay.
Let's start with what I call the life squeeze.
Yeah.
You're a smart guy. You read the news. Did you see that Labor Department report that dropped this week? The one on childcare?
I think I saw a headline about costs going up, but I didn't really dig into the numbers. Just another thing getting more expensive.
You have to dig. See, this is what I mean. The headline is one thing. The numbers are the story. National daycare costs just hit an average of $18,000 a year per child.
18,000.
But that's the national average. That's pulling in data from rural areas, from small towns in the cities where you live. It's much closer to 25,000.
25. That's more than in-state college tuition.
In 30 states, it is now officially more expensive than college. Think about that. You and Sarah are talking about having kids soon, right?
Yeah, we are. Next year, hopefully.
Well, congratulations. You just bought yourself a second mortgage that you didn't even sign up for.
A second mortgage.
But here is the real kicker, and this is the part nobody ever talks about. That $25,000, that's paid with after-tax dollars.
Right. Of course. It comes out of the net pay.
Exactly. So to pay a $25,000 daycare bill, you need to earn roughly $35,000, maybe even $40,000 pre-tax, just to break even.
Oh my God. I never did that math.
You basically have to work from January to April just to pay the nanny. That is the fixed cost that is absolutely obliterating discretionary budgets. It's not just expensive, it is structural damage to your household balance sheet.
When you put it that way, the pre-tax requirement, it's terrifying. It effectively wipes out one person's entire salary if they aren't a super high earner.
It does. It forces a choice. Does Sarah keep working just to pay the daycare center, or does she quit? And if she quits, there goes the dual income safety net. That's the squeeze.
Wow.
And it's not just the kids. Have you noticed what I'm calling the Ozempic budget shift?
You mean the weight loss drugs? I mean, yeah. I know half the people in my office are on them. I saw some data that said junk food sales are down, which I guess that sounds like a good thing, right?
On the surface, sure.
Hmm.
The FDA data shows a 4% drop in snack food sales.
Hmm.
Pepsi and Frito-Lay are freaking out.
Right.
But you have to look at the other side of the ledger. You aren't buying a $5 bag of Doritos. You're buying GLP-1 inhibitors. And do you have any idea what the insurance premiums are doing to cover those drugs?
I assume they're going up, but my employer covers most of it, so I don't see the direct hit.
You don't see it yet. But you will. Healthcare premiums across the board are rising to absorb this massive new cost, and copays are climbing. So think about it. The average family is saving, what, $200 at the grocery store on chips and soda?
Mm-hmm.
But they are spending $1,000 more annually on their insurance premiums and out-of-pocket medical costs. Inflation hasn't disappeared. It just moved from the grocery aisle to the medicine cabinet.
It's a shift. The money's being spent, it's just being spent on something else, something less optional.
Exactly. The CPI, the Consumer Price Index, it tracks a basket of goods. But what happens if your basket changes from food to pharma? The inflation metric feels wrong. You feel poorer, even if the government is telling you food inflation is down.
That makes so much sense. That explains why my disposable income feels completely non-existent, even though I'm eating out less and trying to cut back. It's just being siphoned off by mandatory deductions before I even see the paycheck.
It's an allocation shift.
Yeah.
Precisely. And then there's the commuter tax.
Yeah.
And he's still driving into the city 3 days a week.
Yeah. And I hate every minute of it. The traffic is back to pre-pandemic levels, but somehow the drivers are all worse.
It's about to get a lot worse than just traffic.
Yeah.
New York, San Francisco, Chicago, they're all pushing these congestion pricing models, and they're pushing them hard now.
I have been hearing about that for years. Is it actually going to happen?
It's happening. The cities are broke, and you are the piggy bank.
Yeah.
Driving to work is about to become a luxury tax. We're looking at $15, maybe $20 a day just to enter the business district.
Per day.
Per day. That's $100 a week, $400 a month, almost $5,000 a year, just for the privilege of sitting in your cubicle.
That is insane. At that point, the train is the only option, but the trains are so unreliable now.
Right. But see, this changes the entire math on your house. Suddenly, that home office isn't just a convenience anymore.
It's a tax shelter.
It's a tax shelter.
Yeah.
If you can negotiate with your boss to work from home because you have a professional, dedicated setup, you weren't just saving time and gas. You were saving $5,000 in post-tax money. That's like getting a $7,000 raise in pre-tax terms.
Wow.
The home office is now an income-generating asset.
I'd never thought about it like that. I just thought of it as a way to wear sweatpants during meetings.
Start thinking like a CFO, not an employee. But speaking of driving, what I'm really worried about for a lot of people is the car itself. Have you seen what's happening with used car prices?
I haven't really looked. I'm still driving my Honda.
Keep driving that Honda until the wheels fall off. Because the used car market is the consumer crack in the foundation of this economy.
A crack? Why?
Used car prices have plummeted 15% in the last 6 months alone.
Okay, so that's good for buyers, right?
It's great if you're buying with cash. But think about all your friends who bought cars in 2023 or 2024. They paid a huge premium. They paid over MSRP just to get a car.
Oh, yeah. My buddy Mike paid $5,000 over sticker for his truck. He was so proud of it.
Well, Mike is in big trouble now. He is now completely underwater. He has negative equity.
Meaning he owes more than it's worth.
A lot more. He
Yeah.
probably owes $40,000 on a truck that is now worth $28,000 if he's lucky. It is a financial trapdoor.
Right.
If he loses his job and needs cash, he can't just sell the truck.
Right, because he'd still owe the bank.
He would have to write a check to the bank for $12,000 just to get rid of the loan. He's trapped.
And if he doesn't have the $12,000, which he probably doesn't, he's just stuck with the huge monthly payment.
Exactly. He's stuck. And while he's stuck with that payment, guess what? His pet insurance just doubled. Did you notice that?
I actually did notice that. Buster's policy went from $60 a month to $110. I called them, and they just gave me some script about rising veterinary costs.
It's not just costs, it's consolidation. Private equity firms have bought up a massive chunk of the veterinary clinics in this country. It's a roll-up strategy. They buy them up, consolidate, and jack up the prices.
So my dog is now a luxury asset being managed by a private equity fund.
Basically, yeah. It's just one more fixed cost, one more little squeeze.
It seriously feels like we are being squeezed from every single angle. The kids, our health, the commute, the car, even the dog. It's death by 1,000 cuts. How is anyone supposed to keep up?
That is the life squeeze. That's the perfect term for it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. All of that That's just the domestic stuff. That's what's happening inside your own house.
Right.
You have to look out the window at the macro triggers because that's what's driving all this. For instance, just this morning, literally while I was having my coffee, OPEC Plus announced a surprise cut. 2 million barrels a day.
I saw the alert on my phone, but I just swiped it away. I mean, oil is always volatile, right? It goes up, it goes down.
You cannot swipe this one away. Oil is already testing $82 a barrel. This is an inflation tax that is going to hit you at the pump next week. But you have to connect the dots. What's the deeper implication?
Well, if gas prices spike, everything gets more expensive. Shipping food, flying.
Exactly. So inflation starts to tick back up.
And if inflation ticks up,
Oh, no.
the Federal Reserve gets handcuffed. Jerome Powell absolutely cannot cut interest rates if energy prices are driving inflation higher again.
So everyone who's been banking on a rate cut,
Everyone betting on a rate cut in March just got burned by Sheikh in Riyadh. It's not happening.
so the mortgage rates aren't coming down because gas is going up.
Correct. It is all connected. And it's not just oil. Did you see the news out of China this morning? The ban on rare earth exports.
I saw the phrase rare earth, but I honestly figured that's a tech problem, not a me problem.
It is a you problem if you live in a modern house or want to buy anything for it. We're talking about gallium and germanium.
Okay, never heard of them. They're essential for semiconductors, for solar panels, for smart appliances, for everything. And China controls something like 90% of the global processing. So if they just turn off the tap.
The cost of anything smart is about to go through the roof.
Exactly. We're looking at a massive hardware supply shock. Try buying a new heat pump or a high-efficiency washer in 6 months. Good luck even finding one, let alone affording it.
Okay, so we have an energy shock and a tech supply shock happening at the same time.
And while that's happening, Germany posted negative growth today. Europe is officially entering stagflation.
Okay, that one feels pretty far away. Why does Germany's GDP matter to my mortgage in New Jersey?
Because capital flows like water. It always seeks the path of least resistance and the highest degree of safety. Europe is shrinking. China is fighting a trade war. So where does all the global money go?
It has to go somewhere safe.
It comes here, to us. It's called the flight to safety. Global investors are fleeing the euro, and they are dumping their money into U.S. assets.
Bonds.
Specifically, U.S. real estate and treasuries. And that huge wave of demand keeps our asset values high. It is the #1 reason your house price isn't crashing, even though interest rates are at 6%. Foreign money is acting as a solid floor under the entire market.
So let's recap the mortgage situation then, because you've painted a picture of a world that's basically on fire. Where does that leave housing?
Okay, here's the ground truth. Freddie Mac is anchored at 6.09%. The 3% era is dead. Bury it. Stop mourning it. It is gone.
Okay, fine. Dead.
Foreclosure filings are up 57%, which sounds terrifying, right?
It sounds like 2008 all over again.
It's not. It's just math. Foreclosures were artificially frozen for years during the pandemic. This is nothing more than a return to normal. We are still way below 2019 levels, so don't let those headlines scare you.
Okay.
But here is the real signal, the smart money signal. Refinance applications spiked 20% in mid-January.
Wait, why would anyone refinance at 6%? That seems completely counterintuitive.
Because they aren't waiting for the bottom. They realize life is happening now. They are consolidating debt. They're pulling cash out, which we will get to. But before we get into the strategy, I want to hit you with a few things I call my mirror fun facts.
Mirror fun facts.
Yeah, these are the things that sound like some crazy conspiracy theory, but they're actually just supply chain realities that are staring us right in the face.
Okay, I'm ready. Distract me from the impending global doom.
All right, first one, the sand conspiracy. Did you know we are running out of sand?
Come on. We live on a planet that is mostly rock. There are entire deserts full of sand. How can we be running out?
See, that's what everyone thinks. But you can't build with desert sand. It's useless for construction.
Why? Sand is sand.
No, it's not. Desert sand has been blown by the wind for millions of years. The grains are perfectly round and smooth. If you try to make concrete with it, it doesn't lock together. It's like trying to stack marbles. The concrete just crumbles.
Okay. I have never once in my life thought about the shape of a grain of sand.
Nobody does. We need river sand or marine sand. It has to be jagged, rough, angular. And we are running out of it. We are dredging riverbeds and destroying entire ecosystems just to get it. The UN has issued a formal warning.
So what does that mean?
It means the concrete foundation of your house is becoming a precious metal. Adding square footage to your home now is like buying gold at 1990 prices because the raw material cost is going vertical.
So the physical house itself is literally a stockpile of a dwindling resource.
Exactly. Here's another one for you. The Panama tax.
The Panama tax.
Yeah. Because of the historic drought in Central America, the Panama Canal has had to restrict traffic. The water level is too low. So shipping containers are now going all the way around South America like it's 1850.
You're kidding.
I'm not. So things like Italian tile, European fixtures, anything heavy that comes by sea prices are up 20%. Not because of inflation, but solely because of the extra fuel it takes to sail around Cape Horn. You're literally being taxed by the weather.
That's incredible. It connects back to the supply chain issues we saw in the pandemic, but now it's climate-driven. It's not a virus, it's a lack of rain.
And it's not going away.
Well,
Okay, one more. Have you heard about ghost listings?
no. Is that like when you ghost a date?
It's kind of like that, yeah. 60% of the new inventory you see online is actually shadow inventory.
Shadow inventory.
It's sellers who are just listing their homes to test the waters. They have a 3% mortgage, so they are not desperate to sell. If they don't get their dream price in 30 days, they just pull the listing. Poof, they vanish.
So they aren't even real sellers, they're just tourists.
They're fishing, which means if you see a house you like, you're basically negotiating with a ghost. If you don't make a strong offer right away, they just disappear back into the shadow market. It creates this weird psychological pressure where inventory looks available, but it's actually incredibly fleeting.
That is exhausting. It feels like the entire deck is stacked against anyone trying to make a move.
It is.
Yeah.
Which is why you need a strategy. You can't just float along anymore. So I want to walk you through my strategic briefing. I got 5 vectors here. I want you to stop acting like a consumer
Okay.
and start acting like the chief financial officer of your household.
A CFO of me incorporated. Got it. What's vector 1?
Vector 1 is the blended rate defense. We have to stop looking at the mortgage rate as the only number that matters. In a higher for longer world, which, by the way, Janet Yellen confirmed again today, the interest rate is a vanity metric. The only truth is free cash flow.
Whoa, hold on. My 3% mortgage rate is not a vanity metric. It's the only real financial win I feel like I have. It saves me thousands of dollars a year. You're telling me that number doesn't matter?
I'm saying it's a trophy that you're polishing while the rest of the ship is taking on water.
Yeah.
Let's look at your whole picture. Be honest with me.
Mm.
You got a 3% mortgage, great. But what's sitting on the Visa? What's on the Amex?
Well, the holidays were expensive.
Yeah.
And we had to put down deposits for a wedding. There's maybe $25,000 across a few cards.
And what's the rate on those cards? 22%. 24.
I don't even know. Yeah, probably something like 25%. It's awful.
And do you have a car loan?
Yeah, for the Honda. There's about $15,000 left on that. I think that's at 7%.
Okay, so let's do the math right here. You are clinging to a $400,000 mortgage at 3%. Fantastic. But you're servicing $40,000 of other debt at an average rate of, what, maybe 18%?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
If you blend all of that together, your weighted average interest rate for your entire household, you are not paying 3%. You are effectively paying closer to 6 or 7% on your total debt load.
I've never thought of it as a blended rate.
But the real problem is the cash flow. The credit cards require huge monthly payments just to chip away at the principal.
Oh, tell me about it. The minimums are killing us. We pay $800 a month and the balance barely even moves. It's demoralizing.
That is the golden handcuffs fallacy. You feel handcuffed to the house because of the great rate, but you are drowning in high-interest unsecured debt.
So what's the strategy?
The strategy is this. If I refinance you to, say, 6.5% on a new mortgage, but we use the equity in your home to pay off the Visa, the Amex, and the car loan completely.
Yeah.
Yes, your mortgage payment goes up a bit,
Right.
but your total monthly outgoing cash drops by $1,500.
But I lose the 3% rate. I lose the trophy.
You don't spend rate at the grocery store, you spend cash. If I can save you $1,500 a month, that is $18,000 a year, that pays for the daycare we were just talking about. You are trading a low rate for actual solvency.
When you put it that way, trading a number for actual cash flow, it makes a lot of sense. But it hurts. It feels like admitting defeat somehow.
It is not defeat. It is restructuring. Major corporations do it all the time to improve their balance sheets. Plus, there's a tax efficiency arbitrage here.
What do you mean?
You are paying all that non-deductible interest on those credit cards. The government gives you zero help with that. If we move that debt over to the mortgage, it potentially becomes tax-deductible interest. You are lowering your effective after-tax interest rate even further.
So Vector 1 is basically about cleaning up the balance sheet to survive the cash crunch that's happening right now.
Exactly. Which brings us to Vector 2, the equity activation. Look, in a supply-constrained world, moving up to a new, bigger house is just too expensive for most people. The gap between your house and the next tier up is too big to jump.
Yeah, no kidding. We've looked. It's impossible.
So the strategy is improve in place.
You mean renovation. But
Yeah.
you just told me materials are insanely expensive because of the sand and the Panama Canal.
They are. But now you have to consider the cost of inaction. Immigration enforcement is causing severe labor shortages in the trades. If you wait 6 months to renovate your kitchen or add that nursery for the baby, it's going to cost you 15% more just because there are no crews available. You need to lock in the contractor now.
So I should borrow more money to build at what feels like the peak of material costs.
You should use your equity to harden the asset you already have. And there is a deadline coming up. The smart grid deadline.
The what?
The tax credits for things like home batteries and solar panels are stepping down next month. This is the Inflation Reduction Act stuff. We need to pull equity now to get the government to literally pay for 30% of your energy upgrade. It's free money sitting on the table.
I did not know they were expiring.
And in places like Florida or California, this is becoming defensive. Insurers suspended writing new policies in Florida this morning. If you don't put on a new roof or impact windows, your carrier might just drop you at renewal. Financing that upgrade is the only way to stop them from canceling your policy. You are protecting the insurability of the entire home.
Okay, that's defense. What about offense? We've joked about building a granny pod in the backyard for my parents someday.
Stop joking about it and do it. Zoning laws all over the country have changed. They call them ADU accessory dwelling units. The math is just undeniable. You borrow $150,000 to build a nice one-bedroom unit. Your total mortgage payment goes up by, what, $900 a month?
Okay.
But you can rent it out for $1,800 a month.
So the tenant pays for the entire loan and then gives me $900 in profit on top of that.
The tenant pays for the ADU and subsidizes your main mortgage. You turn the backyard from a liability, just grass. You have to mow into an asset that pays you every single month.
It sounds great on paper, but then I have a tenant living in my backyard. I lose my privacy.
You gain $1,800 a month in free cash flow. In 2026, privacy is expensive. Solvency is better. And don't forget the work-from-home value we already talked about. A soundproof, dedicated home office is now the #1 driver of resale value. It's an investment, not an expense.
Okay, so Vector 2 is all about making the house work for me financially. What's Vector 3?
Vector 3 is market timing. And the core thesis here is very simple. The crash isn't coming. We are in a period of stabilization. And waiting for rates to drop just invites shadow demand to come rushing in.
I mean, everyone I know is waiting. They all say, I'll buy a house when rates drop back to 5%.
That is the trap. That is the single biggest mistake people are making right now. Look at the competition curve. Buyer traffic is up 12% this weekend alone, and rates are still over 6%. If rates drop to 5.99%, do you know what happens?
The floodgates open.
Bidding wars. Mass hysteria.
Yeah.
You will be bidding against 5 other families who are also waiting. The price of the house will jump $50,000 overnight. So you have a very simple choice. You pay for the rate now, or you pay for the price later.
Date the rate, marry the price. I hate that saying. Every realtor says it like a mantra.
It's a cliche because it is mathematically true. You can always refinance the rate in a few years. You can never refinance the purchase price. Once you overpay for the house, that principal is locked in forever.
And you think those foreign buyers are a real threat, or is that just a boogeyman to scare people?
It is 100% real. The dollar is strengthening against the euro because our economy, as shaky as it feels to us, is holding up way better than Germany's. That means European money buys more house in the U.S. right now. You're not just competing with the guy down the street, you're competing with global capital looking for a safe deposit box.
And they don't care about the mortgage rate.
They don't care at all. Many of them are paying cash just to park their wealth in U.S. dirt.
So the floor is in. The price isn't going down.
The floor is made of concrete. And consider the rent versus buy convergence. Rents are stabilizing, sure, but renting is paying 100% interest. You have a negative 100% ROI. Owning is the only real inflation hedge for a family. Look, the big institutions see 2027 as the next boom year. Buying in 2026 is front-running the institutional money. You want to be the shark, not the chum.
Okay, I get the timing argument. Get in before the stampede.
Okay.
So what's Vector 4?
Vector 4 is demographic arbitrage. This is where life events override market events. It's about using the mortgage as a settlement tool.
A settlement tool? What do you mean, like for legal settlement?
Exactly like that. Think about divorce, the silver divorce.
Mm-hmm.
Filings for couples over 60 are up 10%. It's sad, but it's a huge market force. These couples have tons of equity locked in their homes, but they need to split it. And they don't want to sell the family home where they raise their kids.
So one of them refinances to buy the other one out.
Precisely. A cash-out refi is way cheaper than paying a 6% realtor commission and transfer taxes just to sell the house. It's the smoothest, most cost-effective way to uncouple assets.
That's pretty grim, but very practical.
And then there's the happier side of it, the generational gift. The bank of mom and dad. Everyone thought there'd be a silver tsunami of inventory where all the boomers would sell their big houses at once.
Right, and it never happened.
It's a trickle, not a flood. They are aging in place. So instead of leaving you the house when they die, smart parents are using their equity to give down payments to their kids now.
Giving with a warm hand instead of a cold one.
That's the perfect way to put it. They are locking their kids into the market before prices double again. It's a strategic wealth transfer.
What about that Golden Girls solution you mentioned before?
Co-living. It's a huge trend. Loneliness is a massive health crisis for seniors, and it's expensive. So we are seeing widows renovating their basements or spare wings to have friends move in. It creates social connection, and the rent they collect pays the property tax. It solves for isolation and inflation at the same time.
That's actually a really smart, elegant solution. It turns a big, empty house back into a real home.
It does. And finally, the last vector. Vector 5, the geopolitical bunker. In a world of deepfakes and trade wars and digital chaos, the U.S. home is a sovereign asset.
A sovereign asset? You're making my split-level ranch sound like an embassy?
In a way, it is. Think about the deepfake defense. A CEO deepfake video crashed a stock today. Did you see that?
Yeah, it was crazy. An AI video of a CEO supposedly resigning. The stock tanked 10% before they could prove it was fake.
We are entering an era where you cannot trust what you see on a screen. Digital assets are vulnerable. Stocks, crypto, even your bank balance, they are just pixels on a server.
Mm-hmm.
But a house is bricks. It's dirt. It is sand. You can kick it.
Mm-hmm.
In a world of AI and digital fakes, reality trades at a premium. Real estate is the truth layer of your portfolio.
It's the one thing that can't be digitally hacked. I mean, it can be physically broken into, but it can't be deep faked out of existence.
Exactly. And let's talk about the dollar short. This is the big macro play. When you take out a 30-year fixed mortgage, you are essentially shorting the U.S. dollar.
Okay, walk me through that. I'm borrowing dollars, so how am I shorting them?
You borrow $500,000 today in 2026 dollars. Your payments are fixed for the next 30 years. But because of inflation, which is driven by government deficit spending, trade wars, all of it, the value of each dollar goes down over time.
Right.
In 20 years, that $2,000 a month payment will feel like $500 does today. You are paying back the bank with cheaper, less valuable dollars in the future.
So inflation is my friend if I have fixed debt.
Inflation eats your debt for breakfast. If the dollar weakens, and you're seeing signs of that with the new India-UK trade deal that bypasses the dollar completely, your debt becomes easier and easier to pay. The asset, your house, rides the inflation wave up while the liability, your mortgage, gets inflated away. It is the ultimate hedge.
And this ties all the way back to the sand scarcity thing.
It does. It all connects. The sand scarcity puts a physical floor under the value of the asset. If we can't get the raw materials to build new houses cheaply, then the replacement cost of your existing house goes up every single year. You are sitting on a stockpile of copper, lumber, sand, and glass that is becoming impossible to replace at 2020 prices.
Yeah, this is a lot. It's a completely different way of looking at a mortgage. It's not just a bill I have to pay every month. It's a strategic instrument. It's a hedge against inflation, a tax shelter, a geopolitical bunker.
That is the synthesis. That's the whole point. We are in a period of asymmetric stabilization. The volatility is high. OPEC, deepfakes, the election coming up, but the floor under the housing market is solid because of the sand shortage, the demographics, and the chronic lack of supply.
So what do I actually do? I'm sitting here, I have the debt, I have the stress. Do I call you tomorrow and refinance?
You shift your mindset first. That's the most important step. Stop acting like a mortgage rate shopper. Stop looking at the 6% rate and crying at the 3% you're giving up.
Okay.
Start acting like the chief financial officer of your household.
The CFO of Gianni Inc.
Yes. And here is your action plan. Tonight, after this amazing roast, which smells incredible, by the way, I want you to open a spreadsheet. Don't look at me like that. You have to do it.
Ugh, I hate spreadsheets on a Sunday night.
Too bad.
Oh.
First, calculate your true burn rate. And I want you to include all the hidden inflation, the car depreciation, all the little subscriptions, the pet insurance, the pre-tax cost of daycare, everything.
Okay.
Then calculate your liquidity runway. If you lost your job tomorrow, how many months could you survive?
That's the scary number. I don't know if I want to know that number.
You have to know it.
Yeah.
If that runway is less than 6 months, we execute the debt consolidation refi immediately. No hesitation. We trade the vanity metric, that beautiful 3% rate, for solvency, which is actual cash in the bank. Because in 2026, the winner isn't the guy with the lowest rate. The winner is the one who can sleep at night while the rest of the world is going crazy.
Yeah, I think you're right. The rate doesn't matter if I'm insolvent. The rate doesn't matter if I can't make the payments.
Exactly. You can't eat a 3% interest rate. You can only eat if you have cash flow. Speaking of eating, pass the potatoes, would you?
You've definitely earned them. And hey, pour another glass of that wine, will you?
You got it. To safety. And to Pop's truck. May it keep rattling along for another 100,000 miles.
And may we keep running, even with a few rattles in our own manifolds.
That's it. It's a grind, kid. Just like us. Now, who's doing the dishes?
You know, I feel like since I just received a masterclass in global economics and household finance, the consultant fee should probably cover dish duty, right?
Oh, nice try. But the consultant charges by the hour. Grab a towel. We're scrubbing in.
Fair enough. Let's get to work.